Hi, this is Arlin Beemer from Hy-Vee West in Mason City, Iowa. It's kind of getting that weather. It's starting to get nice outside. It's finally not going to trick us anymore, so we're going to have sunshine, good weather, and it's grill time. You know, and I think a lot of times people overlook how much safety comes into play when you're dealing with your outdoor grills. Especially a gas, like a propane or a natural gas grill. Also with your charcoal. Right now we're in front of the big grill we have that's a rather large version of a home gas grill. A couple of things that you should know on the front end: when you're lighting your gas grill, without exception, the lid should always be up. It is imperative that you flip the lid up before you turn the gas on. Take the lid up, turn the gas on, fire it up, and then allow it to burn for a moment. Then you can put the lid back down to go ahead and burn it off. A couple of things that are real important for you as far as your grill is concerned: you do need to burn it off a little bit before you get ready to cook. And one tool that's really essential to make sure that you don't have all that old carbon that's on your grill from the last time you were out there and should have cleaned it, you need a decent brush. And you need to go ahead and, before you start anything, you need to make sure that you give it a decent brush so you knock off all that carbon that was on there from the last time you were out, and that will help it a lot. Let's talk about, a lot of people worry about sticking and things like that. So from a food safety standpoint and how you get things done, one is you want to make sure that after you've taken you've got your grill ready to go, that's when you take your food out of the cooler or whatever, take it to the grill area, and you want to make sure that you have it out in the open or the warm air as little as possible. You want to make sure that your food doesn't get warm and stay that way for any length of time. It's got to go from cold down to your grill, and it's got to be hot. A couple things that will help you as far as getting stuff off the grill. If you're marinating your steaks, and that, most marinades will have some form of a fat in them, and that's great. When you start talking about what am I going to do with a burger, what am I going to do with a chicken breast, I've got a kebab here and those. How do we get those things on the grill and off the grill as easy as possible? A lot of people will take pan spray or Pam, whatever, and they'll spray the grill. That's not a great idea for a couple reasons. One is it's going to burn off immediately, and it really won't do what you ask. Two, well, I'll show you. If you do it wrong, it's going to cause a flame, and it's really kind of dangerous. I wouldn't do that. But here's the real key. If you're going to be cooking something, even if it's a hamburger, spray the meat first. And you'll note that I am using a gloved hand on this. You really should make sure that you don't use the same tongs that you put raw meat on and use those to turn the meat after it's cooked. That's a no-no. We're gonna use our gloved hand, and we're gonna put those on. I'm gonna go ahead and drop on a couple of brochettes like this, and we'll season them up when we get down there. These have already been and how about a chicken breast or two? And I got some seasoning for those. It depends on what you're after. A lot of them, I might squeeze some lemon on them. For a chicken breast, I'll do a lot of different things. But again, putting a raw product on your grill should either have a separate set of tongs, gloved hand, whatever it is. Make sure that once you go back to them after they're cooked, you're not using the same utensil or same hands. Seasonings, oh, that's kind of up to everybody. You know, we all like different things. I really enjoy a lot of pepper in mine, garlic, those kind of things. There's a lot of good ones out on the market. You can go into any of your any Hy-Vee store. Grocery store, what was I thinking? Any Hy-Vee store. There's all sorts of excellent products to work from, but this one's a rough cut. You see that? Just a rough cut with garlic and onions and a little bit of black pepper. You can see it all nicely cut, and coarse salt. And that has a tendency, after you've sprayed that, you'll notice that it really sticks. So another good thing with using a pan spray on your product before you put it on the grill is your seasonings stick to it and they don't come off. So that's kind of a fun thing. But as far as how you get really safe on this, the next issue is, okay, now that I've got it on there, I kept it cold out of the fridge. I took it right to my hot grill or hot broiler or hot barbecue, and I put it on. Now what? Well, first off, you got to make sure you know what you're doing. If it's a steak, you're going to worry about doneness. You're going to worry about temperatures on steaks. Kind of a decent rule of thumb, if you want a rare steak, a lot of us like rare steaks, you're going to be at yeah, whatever. A good rare steak's going to be somewhere between 120, 125 degrees internal temp when you take it off. Pocket thermometer is a great thing to have. A lot of you have some really fancy ones, but I like the good old trusty ones. So that's where you're going to check. You're going to check for internal temp. Beef, you can take them anywhere from 125 all the way up to 165. 165 or above internal temp will be well done. Chicken, you're going to cook it to 165 or above no matter what, because it has to be done. Pork, some people will take a medium pork chop. Others won't, but a medium pork chop is going to be about 145, 150, and you can take it up to 170 without it being extremely dry. Lamb works about the same as pork. So those are kind of the rules of thumb. If you've got something chicken, internal temp, 165 or better, for sure. And the other thing I would try to give you another tip on how to really get great food off the grill is when you take it off there, give it a chance to rest for a little bit. Especially a steak, you want to take it off, you want to let it sit for about 4 to 5 minutes before you serve it for 3 reasons. One is you're going to allow that steak to lose a lot of that cooking temp, and it's going to pull that juice right back into it so your steak won't be dry. You don't want your guest to cut that steak. If he cuts it and it's just pulled off the grill, all the juice is going to run right out of it and it's not going to be flavorful to the end. So let your steak sit 5 minutes before you go cutting them. That kind of comes back into the same way with, like if you're doing a whole chicken or something like that, you want to allow it to come off of that cooking temperature and back to more of a serving temp. Serving temp being around what, 230, 225, 230, somewhere around in there. That's really where it's at. You know, the last things you want to make sure you do is you brought the meat out, you took care of it, you brought it out of the cooler or your refrigerator, it was cold, you took it right to the hot grill, you put it on there, you had a separate pair of tongs to transfer your meat. When you were dealing with cooked product, you had fresh tongs. You took the temperatures, made sure the temperature was right, that you took ground meats up to 155, and you had a steak where you wanted it, and you had 165 or better on your chicken products, and you know that that's right. Well, the last thing is use a clean plate or clean platter. Don't put it on the one you brought out, because that has you know, raw juices on it, and it just makes somebody sick. You know, you want to make your guests happy, so do it right, play it safe, follow good rules of cleanliness, and making sure your product is safe all the way through the process. So, happy grilling.